Good morning. It's James here, and what an exciting day it is today. Here we are, Thursday. We're about to get into April, and the first couple of days of April look like we're going to be in for a ton of snow. Now, before I get things started, I don't know if she's watching. I think she may still be sleeping, or maybe she's up and at it this morning. But I'm going to say hello and good morning, and hope you had a great trip to my daughter Taylor, who is over in Amsterdam, and for the rest of the kids that are with her in Amsterdam, hope you guys had a great flight. So this morning we're going to be talking about whether you can do a thing or cannot. Well, it's actually whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, you are correct. Now, we're going to explore this a little bit because, a lot of times we take these sayings, and this one's generally attributed to Mr. Henry Ford, and for our friends joining in this morning, and whether you're watching it live or you're going to be watching it later on, I wish you all a very good day and good morning. Dana, thanks for joining in already this morning. And Jesse and Wendy, everyone that's joining in, thank you guys very much. And all across Canada and throughout Europe, and down into Mexico and over in Hawaii and Australia. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, you are correct. Now, what does this actually mean? And people think, well, okay, so yeah, I've got to flip a switch in my mind and start believing I can do something, right? And of course, now the one thing I want you all to realize, and Tamaine is always very good at reminding me of this, yes, we're all born perfect. And as I like to say, there's never any flaws in the creation process. Therefore, anytime we start to do something, I want you to realize this. You're never a mistake. You are perfect. All right, thank you, Tamaine, for sharing that. And Bob, thank you for joining in this morning. Now, whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, where does that put us? Why is that so important? Well, in my experience in dealing with people and some of the comments I get back from people on my Facebook Lives, on my morning show, on jessfm.ca, and even my clients that I deal with, whether at Ideal Fresh Life Weight Loss Center or through my therapy services and through Motivation by Design, I want to share this, okay? Belief is something, it's based on where we come from and where we're going to, okay? It's a belief that we can make something happen. And I talked a little bit more about this when I was sharing with you about Motivation by Design and getting that concept off the ground. And it's up, it's live, and it's waiting for you to check it out, motivationbydesign.ca. I believe firmly that through inspiration, we can share ideas and people can move forward and create great things. And we're always going to be better off as a community of people working together than as a bunch of individuals. Now, that said, and I'd like to say good morning to Jesse. Hey, thanks for the post on the ad on the front page of the Lethbridge Herald yesterday, or Monday morning actually. That is fantastic. Now, to get back to this, believing in something. What do you believe in? Now, a gentleman shared with me last night, we had one of our educational seminars, and he was saying, I would pay anything to lose this weight. And, he wanted to make some improvements in his life. He said, I'd pay anything to do that. Well, you don't have to pay anything. He's tried and tried and tried to do it. Part of the problem is he doesn't believe that he can do it because he's tried so often. So what's going on in our minds? When we try so hard to do something and we cannot make it happen, what's happening? Well, perceptually, we're seeing ourselves from the perception and the perspective that, well, look, I've tried to do this and it just doesn't work. And we think that the situation we're in is a solid, stuck situation, an absolutely concrete situation. And it's not. Whether it's finances, whether it's health, whether it's even an illness or an addiction of some kind. All right, and addiction's been in the news. It's been huge lately. The situation that you're in is very fluid. And the reason why it's fluid is because things change all the time. However, the biggest challenge you're going to come across is if you don't change in your attitude. You see, we get challenging things all the time, and sometimes we just feel stuck, like we can't do anything about it. And the fact is, we can. The greatest influencer we have in our lives is ourselves. So when this person says to me, James, I would pay anything to lose weight, I just can't do it. What you're saying is, I don't believe I have the personal power to lose weight. Now we're going to focus on this weight issue for a second. I don't believe I have the personal power to lose weight. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Who puts food in your mouth? Who determines what you eat? You? You are the greatest single force in your life. And you are the greatest single influence in your life when it comes to how you do things and how you see yourself. So if we start off every day knowing that we have the power to influence ourselves, that's where it's going to start. And when we look at going out for something to eat, or we feel hungry and we have a choice between a Tim Hortons breakfast sandwich, a donut, or a smoothie, there's your power right there. And then people will say, well, I just can't do it. Well, yes, you can. And you have a choice. You just don't think you're worthy of a choice. Now, how much does it change? If I share with you this, if I share with you the fact that you're born perfect, that you have these amazing abilities and skills, and maybe you don't even realize that you have those amazing abilities and skills. Do you believe me? Or do you think I'm full of crap? Well, many of you may think that I'm full of crap because you go like, well, there's so many things influencing me. Yes, we all have those things that influence us. But what are you doing with it? You know, talking with a client in another part of the country yesterday, and talking about how, you know, bad things seem to be happening, and you know, the roof leaks, and all the snow comes down, and the person didn't get up there in time to shovel it, and something happened to the house, and now there's all this drywall that needs to be removed, and the client says to me, she says, James, you know, wow, am I making this happen myself? What's going on? And I said, well, let's look at it from this point of view. Well, you know, did you make the snow fall? No. Did you have the power to take the snow off the roof? Yes, you did. Did you do it in time? Maybe not. Did you know you had to do it? Obviously not. Now you do. When you went to take the snow off the roof, did you decide to take a blowtorch to it from the inside of the house and melt the snow from the inside out, thus burning down that part of the house? No, you didn't do that. That's where your area of control is. So really the power that we have is in what we do and what we choose to do with the situations that we're faced with. Do we walk away from those situations, or do we dive in head first and say, okay, I can solve this. I've got this. So believing you can do a thing or cannot, that really, it brings us to, okay, what have I done in the past? And how has my success been with doing this? You know, the definition of insanity, they say, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. When I talked to that gentleman about his weight loss journey, he said, I'd give anything to lose the weight. And then his partner piped up and said, well, you know, we've only really tried. Like, we did it for a little while here, we did it for a little while there. I had the pleasure of meeting with Brittany and Paul, and Brittany's with Chinook Media. And you know, and my apologies if I got the name wrong. Brittany and Paul, please, you know, I'll do my best to tag you in this, or if you're watching this, please tag yourself in it. Brittany pointed out that, you know, anytime you do any advertising online, any media program online, it's going to take 6 to 8 to even 12 months. And then Paul pointed out, you know, Kerwin Ray, I should say, that's his name, Kerwin Ray, motivational speaker. He spent 3 years building up his following on Facebook and building up his following for his motivational presentations. And he said, you know, you expect to make these things happen overnight. You're right. You know what? Understanding a little bit more about things really changes it. Sometimes it takes time, and we don't understand that. For the people that I was talking with last night at our educational seminar, yeah, okay. So it's going to take a little bit more time. Now, one thing that I do know is when we talk about weight loss change, we can talk in terms of weeks. That's pretty powerful. You have to know the program, and you have to be able to stick with it. It's an easy program to stick with. Knowing that you can do that, knowing that you have the power to do it, is inspirational. Absolutely. Sandra, thank you very much. Buenos dias. Thank you for joining in this morning. Sandra says, totally agree. Thank you for this motivational topic. How powerful how powerful are our thoughts? How powerful is it to be able to speak properly? Amazingly powerful. Amazingly powerful. Those thoughts come from you. It all starts with you. So now, whether we believe we can do a thing, and I've struggled with this whole notion of, okay, I want to get out, I want to connect with people, I want to share these inspirational insights. Now, here's what I find on my journey to connect with more people, to go further with it. Okay, and now I started doing this on a regular basis at the start of my journey back in July last summer. And those of you that have followed me along this way know that I was quite a bit heavier, quite a bit more swollen last summer when I started. And here we are in March. So, we're looking at 8 months right now. It's been an amazing journey so far. If I expected it to happen in a month or two, I would be wrong. Here we are again this morning now as we come into the end of March of 2018, and it is the 29th of March. I'd like to get the timestamp in there. And I'm still moving forward with this. I find out yesterday from somebody whose grad I did a hypnosis show for years ago in the Kelowna area. They are now living up in northern BC and very excited about the fact that I share these messages. And he says, I don't get to watch them live, but when you share them, I do follow up and I watch them a little bit later on. He says, they've been a great inspiration and they keep me moving forward. Input like that really inspires me. Input like that reaffirms my belief that I'm connecting. Whether I believe I can do this thing and move forward and continue to do it is reaffirmed. What are you doing to reaffirm your belief? Dana, I thank you very much. Absolutely. Now, I can reaffirm that and I can be your inspiration. And then as you move forward, it's the motivation that you'll get from this that propels you forward and continues you on your goal to be healthier, more successful, and to find that right living situation in your world. Each and every one of us will have a situation that comes up, whether we believe we can do a thing or cannot. It'll be based on our previous experience. And that previous experience may say to us, no, you can't do it. That's the wrong message. Your previous experience is telling you that what you did before might not have been perfectly thought through. Now, they do say a poorly thought out plan, quickly executed, is better than no execution at all, or a well thought out plan that is delayed and delayed and delayed. It's kind of like you get to the scene where there's a fire happening and the fire chief says to you, okay, firefighters, I want you all to gather around. Now the building's burning in the background. Now here's what we want to do. Now, Joe, I want you to make sure that you lay that pipe out properly, that hose out properly, and take your time, make sure it's all good. Meanwhile, everyone's watching the building burn down. He says, okay, we've got a plan, let's go do it. And by the time they go to apply that plan, the building's already burnt down. Much better if they say, listen, we're firemen. We have a hose, we have a plan of attack. Let's go and do it, and let's do it our best. And let's keep the situation fluid. And as we move forward, we'll make it better. So, a plan of some kind, even poorly thought out, but executed right away, in the passion and heat of the moment, better than a well thought out plan that is delayed and the situation changes and you have no power to adapt. I want you to keep that in mind. So whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, said Henry Ford, whether you believe you can do a thing, keep in mind, it's going to be based on, that belief is going to be based on your history, what you've done, your successes. Understand that if you did something before, and this word try comes up all the time, if you tried to do something before and you failed, maybe it was the execution. Learn from your mistakes and know that because you are the most powerful force in your world, as you desire change and as you commit yourself to an action path of change, it must come true. As you believe in yourself and you desire to make a positive change happen, it must come into reality. You are an indomitable force of change. You have got this. And as you desire that change, if that change is right, and if that change is thought out, and you know it's not harming anyone in the path of doing it, it's got to come true. Stick with it. As you think about it, and as you believe in it, drive it forward and make it connect. And you know what? One of the things that people keep in mind is that need to keep in mind is that time is going to be the factor in this. Some things will happen right away. You pick up the phone, you call somebody and say, hey, we're doing this event. Will you come help out? Yeah. And as Dana says, never say never. You're right. What do we say all the time? When something fails, what happened? Well, I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have blah, 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 blah. You didn't have enough resources? What are you really saying? You lacked resourcefulness. Let's believe we can do a thing. Okay? Pick something today. The Easter weekend is right around the corner. And by the way, I plan on being back here with you tomorrow morning, Good Friday morning. We'll be sharing some more insights, some more thoughts on believing you can or cannot. I welcome your input on this. So many times people say, I don't think I can do it. People get themselves in a situation. Let's talk about, say, a client who has, unfortunately, maybe 100 pounds to lose. They have a serious health risk. And they say, I just want this weight gone, but I can't seem to do it. What's happening? The thing that's happening is they're letting time get them down, and they're letting the time it's going to take them to change affect their focus. Knowing that it's going to take time to do a thing is really going to increase your belief. Knowing that you can have an indomitable spirit, know that you can be tenacious when it comes to making that thing happen, that is going to change everything. Believe in yourself. Understand that you've got the power to do it. I mean, you got up this morning, you got out of bed, or maybe you're still lying in bed watching this, but you picked up your phone, you have the power to watch this. You have the power to choose what clothing you put on. That's the power of choice you have. And people say, well, that's an everyday thing. Yeah, it's an everyday thing. But it shows you, it's symbolic of the power that you have. This life is yours to live. You've got that power. Don't let anyone take it away from you. It's yours. When it comes to any challenges, people say, well, you know what, hey, I'm going to follow this program for a healthy change, but I love to get together with my friends on a Friday and we have beers, and I'm not supposed to drink anymore. Right. What's the problem? Well, how do I sit around all my friends without drinking? Drink club soda. Find a way. Believe in yourself. You're worthy of it. You're worth it. And people say, well, it's too hard. What's too hard? Break it down to its simplest things. If drinking is the issue, what's so hard about it? The craving? The habit of being used to drinking? Or, when you break it down, is it just having alcohol in that beverage and raising up to your mouth? If that's all it is, stop. If your health issue comes down to, it's so hard not to have a Tim Hortons donut, don't go to Tim Hortons. It really is that simple. Yes, there are cravings and everything else going around, but what I'm talking about is you believing and changing your thought process. You have the power to not drive yourself to that fast food place. You have the power to not drive yourself to that store where you pick that thing up. You have the power to not go to the corner store and buy a pack of cigarettes. You have that power. Holy smokes. You have the power to create a new world for yourself. So whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, think of this. That is your power. The power to believe you can make a change. Believe it. Live it. That's your power. It's as simple as that. And as complicated as that. And if the thoughts in your head don't support it, friends, if the thoughts in your head don't allow you to believe in yourself, I have some resources for you. Let me help you out with that. I have some audio programs, some audio recordings, MP3 tracks. You can download them. Some of them are even free. Download them and listen to them. Motivationbydesign.ca. I'll share the link with this. I want to help you out. Maybe, you know what? Why don't I take a couple of my programs, a confidence program, and I'll make that free for you today. Maybe I'll make it for you free for you all weekend long. Okay? Motivationbydesign.ca. Go there, check out the shop section, and I'll see how I can load them onto the front page so that all you have to do is just land on my website. You can download them free of charge. Let's make a difference today. And maybe what I'll do is I'll make this video available, but I'll also put a Believing You Can track on there. And it'll be free. For the next couple of days, it's going to be free. I want to help you guys to make a difference in your life. Now, remember what I said. I'm going to help you. Okay, and as I'm helping you, it's up to you to make the difference. Okay? It's up to you to go to the website. It's up to you to download. You have the power to make that difference happen. So, in our lives today, what difference can we make happen all around? Knowing that we've got the power, whether you believe you can do a thing or cannot, it's up to you. You have the power to believe. I know doubting words come to mind. You got this. You're born perfect, never had any mistakes. You look at your life right now and you say, man, I'm so far off the beaten path. Okay, let's make a change. Let's do it all together. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. If you're listening online at jessfm.ca, continue listening. More great music. We're going to follow things up with more music. My daughter Taylor's in Amsterdam. Going to follow up with more tunes to bring positive memories to her so that as she's traveling abroad, she can just feel that connection. Hey, how great is that? As we make that connection happen, we are stronger as a community, as a family, than as a bunch of individuals. Have an amazing day. If I'm not able to connect with you during the Easter weekend, happy Good Friday. Have a great Easter weekend as you travel around. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.